Hi YouTubers, so today I'm looking at my 790 Adventure R and particularly about the chain adjustment. This thing is just got a weird, KTM have a really weird way to somehow tell you how to adjust the chain. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned dirt bike way. I'm basically going to remove the suspension, lift the wheel up until the swing arm is parallel. And basically the chain is at its greatest tension, and then I'm going to work out a way to actually determine the proper height of the proper chain slack, I should say. And anyway, I'll show you guys what I find. Right, so I've removed the rear shock and I have placed a jack under the rear wheel. This axle is 20.5 inches or 52 centimeters high. So you can see the chain relatively loose. I always use a bolt like this with my KTMs, so that's how I personally adjust it. Doing all of this nonsense under here, couldn't be bothered with. So that is my adjustment. Some people would say that's a bit loose, but I prefer it because I do a lot of off-road. So I'm going to jack up the rear wheel until, it's interesting to notice, so the chain stays relatively loose all the way through the travel. And if I come to the height, that's about 20 inches. In fact, I've even got a spirit level here so I can kind of see when the axle is level. It still needs to go up about an inch. Put that up a little bit. But there you go. And again, it's still reasonably loose. In fact, if I use my bolt as the guide, yep, it's actually about the same tension as it was when the wheel was on the ground. So that's great news. And I thought, for kicks and giggles, of course, you know, this is when the chain is at its tautest. And it does have a chain guide here, so I'm not worried about it jumping off the sprocket, but I could tighten it up. But personally, I like my chains a little on the looser side on my off-road machines. But if I go all the way to the top, let's just crank her up here, and it's still loose, right? So good thing is this chain doesn't seem particularly sensitive to the position of the wheel once you get the alignment correct. But so that's good news, because that was always a worry to me, that I was over tightening the chain and I was going to damage the bearing or the seal, so on and so forth. But actually, so I'm pretty pleased with that, so I can afford to tighten it up a little touch more. Just, but the other thing I wanted to mention was when I took off the shock, this is the top bolt, that is dry. There's no, KTM did not put any grease on that whatsoever. Funny enough, the manual doesn't talk about grease either. But if I look at the lower bolt, yep, that's dry. Now, KTM has in the past used Teflon bushings, especially in this lower Heim joint here, but funny enough, it actually does talk about putting lubrication in there. It does not talk about putting any lubrication anywhere else, and this is dry. That's interesting. So anyway, I might just put a little spot of grease there just to, I just tend to. Relatively short shock as well, look at that, it's only, crikey, that's, what, inch and a half of travel there? Inch and a half, yeah, hardly any. So, good. Alright, that's taken a lot of concern off my plate with the chain. Thought you guys like to see that.